man.
Hey, what's up? Fiddle Off. This episode was short. A really short one. We've been doing 2 long episodes lately. These episodes have been way too long. Way too long. Gonna cut them down to shorter. Fiddle Off. That was it. What's the topic?
I love that. Because what's gonna happen? Robert's gonna play the Fiddle Off music, and then we're gonna talk for a second here, and then he's gonna run the intro right now.
Say the topic first.
Have you ever heard of Apollo 13?
Apollo 13. Wow, we're going to the moon. That's crazy. Okay, so we went to the moon, we came back, but the whole reason we did that was because we wanted to beat Russia there, and we did it with public funds. That's why I'm just going through all the potential rants that's going to happen. Like, we're going to talk about how Elon wants to go to space. Why aren't people so excited about Elon going to space? We were not doing it with tax dollars. I'm not going to cheer on a billionaire. We went to the moon together. That was the whole point. Fiddle off.
It's close, I guess. That is close.
All right.
We're going to have...
Beat those Russians. And we saw the lizard eating the cheese.
There it is.
Out of context quote.
Yeah. This guy's stronger than the moon.
Out of context quotes. Out of context quotes. Out of context quotes. I saw that lizard eat the cheese. Whoa. Stronger than the moon. Out of context quotes. Out of context quote. Things I learned last night.
So Apollo.
That's the theme song. And then there's like some out of context quote that's like, "Whoa, the lizard ate the cheese," and it's like, I gotta listen to find out what that meant.
Find out what he says there. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if Jaron wants to be here.
Why would you say that? I want to be here.
All right, so Apollo 13.
Ask me 54 minutes from now if I want to be here, though. My answer will be no.
I will if we're here in 54 minutes.
I hope we're not. I pray to God that we're not.
At this rate, we will be. That much time we've spent talking about how
2 minutes. Okay, keep going.
So Apollo 13.
All right.
We were close. This was not the first trip. The first trip to the moon was Apollo 11.
Which feels late.
Well, we had to try a bunch.
Yeah.
That's a big trip. That's a hard thing to pull off. Which I will say.
Oh, shoot. A bunch of moonland fakers are going to find this video.
No, I will say it is interesting. Never mind. So Apollo 11 happens. They go to the moon, land on it, come back. Everyone's like, well, Apollo 11.
In 1969.
Cool. 69, yes.
Yeah.
And then we do Apollo 12. And then Apollo 13 rolls around. And we're like, we're going to do it a third time. And everyone's like, you've done this twice. I don't know if I really care anymore.
I don't know if that was the sentiment.
I don't think that was the sentiment, but here's what happened. So but
Apollo 13 is like a famous one. That's what I'm saying. Apollo 11 famous because they walked on the moon for the first time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Apollo 13 famous for what we're about to talk about. Which I'm not going to spoil it. Apollo 12 kind of slept on.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't even remember what's significant about Apollo 12.
We went to the moon.
Yeah, you're right. I guess. It was the 6th crewed flight and the 2nd to land on the moon. So they did actually land on the moon. Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
That's what I thought. I thought they did. Yeah, but yeah, we don't talk about it because
Apollo 13 was like, are they gonna make it back?
Yeah, and so Apollo 13, this was April 11th, 1970. And what's interesting about this is almost 9 months after the Apollo 11 flight.
Right.
Which is pretty crazy. I didn't realize
how close
together these were because 12 happened in the middle there too.
Yeah.
But this was...
I think it was one of those things where they were... I mean, if Apollo 11 hadn't made it to the moon, they were going to keep trying.
Yeah. They had, I think I read somewhere that they contracted like 15 of these flights to the moon.
Yeah.
So NASA had a lot of plans to pull it off. But by this point, I do wonder, we're now in 1970 and Kennedy's speech was by the end of the decade. And so now we're in a new decade. And so everyone's like, we're on to the next thing. We don't care anymore. No, I did see a lot of reports talking about it because they televised the launch. The launch happened. The viewership was not crazy on the launch. There was a later point in the flight where they actually televised from within the space module. and like they like had the crew just kind of talking about what life is like in space, and they did a little segment of the show in there.
Okay.
And no network picked it up. No major network picked it up because they're like, that's not interesting. No one cares. And so I do think there is something at this point where people started to, the fact that no major network wanted to pick up that segment tells me that that the public was not as interested anymore. And I do think it's like, we did it. We got there. We beat the Russians. Like, we pulled it off. We did it again. And it's like, how interesting is it to do it a third time? Like, now it's starting to become a little routine, you know? So this wasn't like a huge event yet. But it launches on April 11, 1970. And the launch is decent. There was an engine that cut off a little early. But other than that, like, it got to space, no problem. Right. And I should show you the crew. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Here's our crew. What?
Yeah. Yeah. It's from the Apollo 13 movie. So it's Tom Hanks and the guy from Twister.
The guy from Twister.
Whose name I know, but I can't think of it right now. Paxton. Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
And then Lieutenant Dan. So how close? Because was Apollo 13 directed by the movie? Was it directed by the same person who did Forrest Gump?
I don't
because know. Every time I see movies, it's like, oh, you cast the same people. It's usually like the same.
Yeah, it's the same because they're like, yeah, we've got the.
Unless Tom Hanks was like, yeah, we should get Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, I don't know if it was. Hold on, I'm pulling up the director, Ron Howard. Did Ron Howard direct?
Bill Paxton is in this movie, and he's also in what year was the original? Twister? 95?
Yeah.
Was it 95?
It was sometime in the 90s.
Yeah, that was a massive hit.
Yeah.
And, I grew up in Tornado Alley, so...
Not the same director, by the way.
Okay. Interesting. Was this close to when Forrest Gump? I mean, this is obviously close to when Forrest Gump came out because they looked the same age.
Yeah, it was a year later.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. So they were in the same movie back to back. Crazy, right?
I wonder if they had the same agent.
Maybe. So who's the real crew?
Oh, you want to know something funny about this? Is I was scrolling through on Google Images really quickly before pulling this in,
and you didn't even
this
realize.
Is the real image. And I didn't full screen it. I just saw a bunch of astronauts with the same background, and I was like, "This looks like a better picture. I'm going to take that one."
Oh, you didn't do that on purpose.
I did not do that on purpose.
And my question is, when it went up, did you realize?
I didn't even look, and then you laughed, and I'm like, "What's he laughing at?" And I'm like looking at him, like, "What's funny about these astronauts?" And then I saw Tom Hanks, and I was like, "Oh." Oh, I did the cast. This is the cast. This is not the real photo of the crew.
Okay.
So this is the real crew, which
looks nothing
similar.
like them. Here's the
background
thing,
is similar. The background's similar.
Here's what I love I love that Hollywood did a thing through the 90s where they were just like, we don't need actors to look like the original people at all.
Yeah. Well, it's because none of these guys are hot.
Go back to the other one. Describe which of these guys you think is hot. Let's hear it, Tim.
Guy in the middle has a really hot forehead, just like me. Guy on the right has a really hot forehead, just like me. Guy on the left, great lips.
They all do have large foreheads, don't they?
They do, yeah.
That is interesting.
I think it's a 90s thing. And me being a product of the 90s, also big forehead.
Yeah, okay. So
this is the actual crew. Sorry about the confusion there.
Yeah.
James Lovell Jr., John Swigert, and Fred Hayes are their names. And
that's not their names.
Oh, okay.
Try it again.
James Lovell Jr. James Arthur Lovell Jr.
Okay.
And then John L. Swigert Jr. and Fred Hayes.
Okay.
What do you, I don't understand what you're doing here.
I'm saying go back to the other one. The Tom Hanks picture. Uh-huh. And then go back to the original one. And tell me their names again. Because you're wrong.
James Lovell,
Uh-huh.
John L. Swigert,
Who's that?
Fred Hayes.
Okay. Fred Hayes, Lovell, they're on there. Guy in the middle is not Swigert.
Why are you saying that?
Because his uniform says Mattingly.
Huh. Interesting.
And go back to the other picture. You can see it clearer. The better picture of him.
The better picture. Okay. I see what you're saying. I was like, what are you talking about?
Mattingly.
I can't believe you can read that.
What are you talking about? It's got the letter M and then Addingly after it. So who's Mattingly?
I don't know. Hold on.
I just want to make sure you get your facts straight.
Yeah, I'm pulling this up. Give me a second. Oh, this makes sense. Okay. So Ken Mattingly, Thomas Ken Mattingly. This makes sense. Okay. So he was originally scheduled to fly on Apollo 13, but he was replaced by Jack Swigert because he got measles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I guess this photo must have been taken before the actual trip.
Okay.
When they were scheduled to do it.
And then he got COVID-19.
What's interesting is in the movie, I guess they were like, yeah, we're going to forget about the guy getting measles and not send him on the trip. I don't understand. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. Was that a plot line in the movie? Did Mattingly not make it on the trip and then they send someone else?
I don't know.
Because that's a pretty big star to cast to just be like, sorry, you're not going to make it on the trip.
Well, I'm sure
you're sick.
Well, the most of the movie takes place pre-launch, right? I don't remember the movie that much, I guess.
I don't remember the movie at all.
I remember the scene. I remember the end of the movie.
Yeah. I don't. Now I got to look at the cast.
If you've not seen the movie, Mattingly did it. That's the spoiler. He did it the whole time. It was him.
Okay, yeah. So they did do that, and Kevin Bacon played Swigert.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So they did do that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
But I'm like, you're showing a picture, and Mattingly is who we're looking at.
Yeah. Well, it's because I saw this picture. I was like, this looks like a bunch of astronauts.
Okay.
So here's a bunch of astronauts.
Sure.
I don't know their names.
Yeah. No, we've got Lovell and Hayes, and then Mattingly, who then gets measles and replaced.
Yeah. With Swigert.
Yes.
And so one of these guys, hold on, let me go back over here to my notes. Now you've got me all, I'm not sure who's who now. Hold on, I think it was.
Do you need glasses? Because I can read the TV from here, but you can't read your computer from there? I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just asking. Do you know my mom didn't let me get, while you're looking this up, did you know my mom did not believe me when I was in 6th grade? And I was like, hey, I can't see. And she was like, no, yes, you can. You just want attention. You know, your friend Dalton got glasses and now you want glasses. And I was like, she's over here. And I was like, okay, Mom. Right? I couldn't see a daggum thing. I literally was like sitting there, but I remember the day I convinced her where I was like, Mom, I cannot read the time on the VCR. I was like, there's a little clock there and I can't read it. It's too blurry. And she was like, no, yes, you can. I said, I can't read the clock. And it finally took one of my teachers telling her, hey, Jaron can't read the board.
Yeah.
For her to be like, oh,
you're right. I guess
I've been gaslighting my kid for a year. My poor blind child.
So Lovell is the one I was looking for.
Yeah.
He's the
main character.
Yeah, he's the only one who did 2 Apollo missions. He did Apollo 8, which was not one of the ones that landed.
Yeah.
And then this Apollo 13. But so he's the only one here who's got experience
being in space.
Yeah. Which I guess is not a common thing, because I ended up having to pull up the whole list of astronauts who've done this, and it looks like pretty much everyone, at least on the Apollo missions, only did 1 mission, which is interesting.
A
lot of them went and did other missions after that, but for the Apollo program, it was just 1.
The Apollo program is 1.
Okay. So they take off. They go to space, and the takeoff, the whole process was normal. It was pretty normal.
Yeah, relatively smooth.
Yeah, they make the course corrections, and they do this broadcast that no network wanted to pick up. I think they ran it on like PBS or something. And in the broadcast, what's interesting is people recounted what they saw on this broadcast. And they said it was very strange because it was like watching a bunch of really smart people behave like teenagers, because they just were showing you around the cabin. Being
What's up, guys? Here's my crib.
really, they were just like playing jokes on each other, like pranking each other. And so like they would talk, like one of them would be talking about other things while the other two would be messing with them in the background, was what that broadcast was. And one of the things is one of the guys kept doing this like valve release, which was really loud. Like you could release this valve and it was just a normal like procedure that they would do. But it was like this loud bang every time you would release this valve. And so they'd be sitting there talking and then he'd release the valve and they'd be like, oh, and then like startling them, you know? And so this whole broadcast happens, everything's whatever, it's fine, whatever, right? Okay. Nobody watches it, nobody cares, nobody listens.
Okay.
But they are now in the air for 56 hours in the flight, headed towards the moon. And while out of the blue, they hear this explosion. And so everybody thinks, oh, it's this guy playing this prank with that fuel release or that valve release, that thing again. But he's like, no, I swear that wasn't me. I didn't do anything there. So they start checking all their gauges, checking to see what's going on.
Sure.
And they realize that their oxygen gauges are all like just plummeting. And so this is where we get the famous line. They transmit. There's a transmission that gets sent back, and he says, "Houston, we have a problem." And Houston is like, "Okay, what's the problem?" And they say, "Hey, all of our oxygen lines are rapidly dropping, and we just heard an explosion." And Houston's like, "It's probably fine. You're probably okay. We're not going to send you to the eye doctor or anything. Just don't worry about it. Everything's fine."
But like, what's the other option? Is turn around?
Well, yeah, you could turn around because they've got thrusters on there, so they could reverse course. But what they say is like, okay, we're gonna have to take like a diagnostic of what's going on and figure out what's happening here. So they send up a bunch of tests. They start doing all these tests. Long story short, eventually what they're able to discover is they see some sort of gas that is venting into space from the main part of the ship. So I'll show you a diagram of this actual model. So it was made up of a couple segments. So you have the actual lunar lander, which is the part that looks almost like a spider that you see in all those fake studio footage from Apollo 11.
Right.
And then you see the command module. So during the actual flight, they were in the command module. You see that little cone in the middle?
That's where they were.
That's where they were. So they were sitting in the command module. Behind it is the service module. And so there they have the actual engine and then this big box that has oxygen tanks, water, all the just different services that keep them alive, life support systems and things like that. And within there are a few large oxygen tanks that have more than enough oxygen to get them to the moon and back. And what had happened here is one of those oxygen tanks blew up. And started venting oxygen out into space, and also damaging a bunch of the other components within the service module.
Okay.
And so what they end up discovering after running a bunch of tests to start to figure out what's really going on is they're down to one oxygen tank. So oxygen is going to run out in the service or in this command module very quickly. Also, their water lines are damaged. And their temperature control system is damaged. So temperature is going to begin dropping very soon as well.
Sure. Hey, join us on Patreon if you want this to be ad-free. And also, there's a bunch of other perks. You get to, all episodes are ad-free. You get next week's episode right now. And you get to do monthly hangouts with me and Tim. Like it's like a virtual just hangout room. And we play games together. We talk. We have show and tell sometimes. We've made a lot of good friends through this. And so it's a really good time to do that. So either way, please share the episode. Tell somebody about it. These are all those ways to help us grow the show because we love doing it and we want to keep doing it. So thanks for being here.
So they radio back to Houston to try to figure out what the best course of action is going to be here because this is a long trip to get to the moon and back.
Right. How long does it take?
I believe it's a 3-day trip one way. And so they are 56 hours into this trip. So they're close to the moon at this point. They're 2 days in to the trip. And so really they kind of have a decision to make. Do they turn around? Do they pull a U-turn, turn on the thrusters and try to make it back? What they end up deducing there is that with the amount of fuel that they've got, they probably wouldn't make it back to the Earth within enough time. And so they're going to have to come up with something a little bit more creative to actually get them back there. So the people back in Houston are doing all these calculations nonstop, trying to figure out how are we going to get them back here. And they end up deciding to do the like I guess colloquial term for this is like a slingshot method. And so what they're going to do is they're going to take them to the moon, slingshot around the back of the moon, and use the moon's gravity to propel them back towards the Earth. And then it's going to shoot them back, and then they'll be able to turn the fuel back on. And so what we can see in here is the different parts where they can actually turn around if they're going to turn around, and they've passed it.
Okay.
And so they have to.
Okay, so are we at nominal TL coast? Is that where we're at?
I don't know where they're at in this. I don't know if this is from this exact event. I believe so.
Okay.
And so they have to actually make it to the moon at this point and swerve around the backside of the moon and then get slingshotted back to Earth if they want any shot of making it here. The problem is,
I don't understand why they don't have enough fuel if they're going to go to the moon.
Well, there comes a point where you're not actually burning any fuel anymore. You're coasting all the way to the moon, and
that's what nominal TL coast is.
Yeah,
I see.
You're allowing the gravitational pull of the moon to pull you in versus actual fuel burn.
Okay.
And so what they can do is they can use essentially the same concept, where then they will use the gravitational pull of the moon to shoot themselves around the backside of the moon, shoot back to Earth, and catch the gravity of the Earth. And then they would only have to use fuel in that middle line there, to get them back into Earth. The problem is they don't have enough oxygen for this.
Right. That's the whole thing.
Long before. And so they say, okay, well, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to crawl into the actual lander module. And so
the what?
The lander. So the little spider part.
The lunar module?
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so
the lander module.
That's what it's called. It's the lunar lander. Don't get out of here.
Tim, one of us believes that we did this.
I do too. I believe we did this. I just think that we saw something we shouldn't have. I just think we got there and we were like, oh, we were supposed to see
We
this.
landed on the moon and we saw the lizard eating the cheese.
Hey, there it is.
The context quote.
Yeah.
Don't roll your eyes at me, Tim. We're 20 minutes into this. We have 20 minutes left.
Okay, so they start on this trip and they crawl into the lunar lander, and they have
do they have more oxygen in the lunar lander? Is that what the whole thing is?
So the interesting thing about the lunar lander is there's 2 days oxygen supply, nowhere near enough supply to get them back to Earth. They do have their suits in there, their walking suits to like actually go out and do their moonwalks, but there's not days worth of oxygen within those suits. There are a couple extra like personal oxygen tanks in the lander module as well, but there's not. The long story is there's not enough oxygen. There's only enough for 2 days and some extra oxygen. There's also not enough food. There's not enough food, not enough water. This is a bad situation all around. And there's also the temperature control system is not going to last long enough. So
they're going to have to get in those suits.
So, well, they thought about getting in the suits, but the problem with that is that would be too hot. They were afraid they would overheat in these suits, which is interesting to me. Like, I feel like it'd be. I feel like you could retrofit those suits in some way.
We can either freeze to death or be a little uncomfortable.
It'd be a little too hot.
I hate just being so stuffy.
It's just a little too hot in this room.
The thing about being cold is you can always put on more layers, but the thing about being hot, is that
it's like you got to take off. All you got to do is just keep taking off layers, and eventually you run out of layers.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, so they then they're in this lunar module and they have to try to figure out, okay, how are we going to survive? They know they don't have enough oxygen, but there are these little components that they have in both sets of both modules where that can help grant them a little bit more oxygen. They're not really tanks, but they're like filtration systems that will help modulate the CO2.
Right.
The problem is for whatever reason in the lander, it's this big round component. But in the actual control module, it's this square box thing.
Sure.
And so they couldn't transfer them between the two. And so they were going to run out of it in the lander. And this is what is considered the first hack ever, is the which is very strange to me. They had to from whatever items that they could find on both the lander and the control module, create their own little component that would actually fit to modulate the CO2 for them to be able to survive within the ship or within the lander module. And so there was a crew back in Houston that was doing all the math and looking through everything that they had and saying, okay, well, you can pull this wire from this thing because we don't really need that. You can pull this shell from over here, and we're going to put them together. And they were just kind of walking them through how to build a new CO2 component to help them survive.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so, and this, of course, took hours, and but they managed to figure this out. And so I think a lot of lessons were learned on this trip because they learned that they needed a lot better redundancy plans because this was like, we're on the razor's edge with this whole trip. And so,
how many astronauts have died from non-explosions? Do we know? Like, obviously,
like while they were on a mission.
Yeah. Like, obviously, like the Challenger is a different situation.
Yeah.
But like, do we know? Is that a good question? That's a good question.
Yeah, let's find out. 21 have died.
Wow.
For accidents during missions, but I bet a lot of
I bet those are included in the. I bet that includes the numbers of.
Yeah. So in 71, there was a Soyuz. Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know. 11, where all the crew members died because of depressurization.
Okay.
There was the Challenger explosion. And then there was the Columbia disaster.
Right.
And so that was, I mean, that's the majority of it. Apollo 1, there was a fire on a launch pad test that they were in there. And 3 of them were killed. A cosmonaut died on re-entry, which is essentially a fire, I would say. And then...
Yeah, but that's what I'm wondering. Those kind of things, like the depressurized thing, because launch failures are different than like, him re-entering and dying. That's what I'm wondering. Those kind of things. Yeah. But like, what's that movie where the astronaut floats off into space? Has that ever actually happened? Have we ever lost someone to space?
I don't know, actually. I don't think Have we lost any astronauts
to space?
I mean, this says yes, some have died in space, but I don't know if anyone were like died during a spacewalk.
Because that like would be the worst way to go, where you're just floating away from the space station stuff.
Yeah, and you're just gone.
Because
eventually, I think you probably would lose pressurization before you would lose oxygen.
You think so?
Yeah.
In the suit?
Yeah, I think at a certain point your head would probably just pop.
Okay. What a way to say that, buddy. There's 14-year-olds that listen to this. Chill.
Okay, sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Your head would implode.
What a horror movie that you just... Okay. Well, sorry to bring that down. That made me so mad. We have 10 minutes left. What's wrong?
Okay. So
golly, dude.
they put together
you can't even be like, the space monsters would get you. Like, what are you like freaking
why would I just lie?
We lied when we said we went to the moon. None of it matters.
Sorry. You would get very sad and you would die from it.
Yeah, you would die of the sadness of missing your family. Say that
out
next
there
time,
floating
you
in space.
Psycho.
You die of the sadness and also
Stop. Okay, so it's taking a couple hours to build a component to regulate the oxygen in the thing.
Yeah. The CO2 specifically.
The carbon dioxide.
Yeah, and so what's interesting? Yeah, this is largely described as the first hack, and this was interesting reading into this because a couple years ago.
I mean, hey, it's the first hack, but I'm still out here.
Oh my gosh. A couple years ago, like everybody started calling things hacks.
Yeah.
And I remember a lot of people being annoyed because like, that's not a hack. Like you're just breaking stuff and calling it a hack. But it's interesting because this is regarded as the first hack, but it wasn't like, it genuinely was like, they just took a bunch of stuff and MacGyvered it together to get it to work. And I think I also had always just kind of assumed like hacking was like breaking into a system and like getting it to do something you wanted to do that's like you're not authorized to allow it to do.
Well, I think in the technological space, hacker was short for hijacker, but we stopped using the word hijacker.
Was it? Is it really?
Yeah, because you're hijacking the system. You're taking control of another system. That's what that would be. And I think we just shortened it to hacker, as in you hacked in.
No, hack is not shortening of
I'm not saying it's short of hijacker. I'm saying we, instead of calling it hijacker,
yeah.
it's not like we were like, oh, that's too long. Let's just call him hacker.
Yeah. Interesting. Hijack is a combination of the words hitch and jack. And it's from people stealing horses.
Yes.
Or stealing a car. They would hitch and jack a car. And hijack is putting that together. Hack comes from the term hackney, which was a horse that was easy to ride and available for hire. But I don't understand why that would end up becoming hack. Interesting. I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Interesting. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Just Googled this, and that's so interesting. Oh, wow. I've just looked that up. Oh, wow. Huh.
Oh my gosh.
So it's called hitch and
You're
jack.
the worst person I know.
Hitch and jack is... Oh, because it's that near the horses. That's really cool. It's just after the horses. The hackney is the kind of horse that you can take.
That's not even close to
That's
what
you freaking do,
That's
dude.
not even close to what I was.
So anyway, it's hacking. And you do that stuff all the time.
Okay, first of all, you cannot do pops like that. It's too aggressive.
You do that. You pop into that microphone at least six times an episode. If you let these episodes go over an hour, you start popping. I'm telling you what.
I've never once popped. There has not been a single pop.
Hitch and Jack sounds like a really cool, trendy bar that would open.
Yeah, that does actually. So,
hey, Hitch and Jack. No, give me your other hand, you psycho. What are we gonna? What are you? Maybe like, yes.
I thought you were gonna high five.
Yeah. Why would I go like?
Because this is the easier hand. This one I gotta like reach up underneath this thing.
We. God,
what are you trying to do?
You don't know how to do anything, man. You're like, high five. Too slow. Oh, here, high five. No, it's too slow. That's how you talk, dude. Just high five me. Just high five. Yeah, that's okay. I'll pull it.
High five me.
Oh yeah, so it's like it's called. Well, it's really crazy because it's called a high five because it's a combination of like how high your hand is and it's 5 fingers. It's like if you hold your 5 fingers really high, that's why they call it a high five.
A high five.
Oh, wow, that's pretty cool.
Interesting.
So anyway, that's what you do. Okay. Thanks for that genuine laughter.
I'm not having fun.
I'm so happy to be here. So, okay, so it's a hack. They've literally taken pieces from different components.
Yes.
And just
forced it to work.
Okay.
Forced it to work. And that's
it's pretty crazy that there's just nerds on the ground being like, okay, yeah, just pull this cable, do this thing together. Mm-hmm. You know, like that's wild.
Yeah. And yeah, that is wild. That they have like that deep of an understanding of what is up there. And
they also probably have the other 11 there. You know what I'm talking about? Like they're
maybe, but they're different. And so they're there, but it's not like this is like you've got 4 Honda Accords and you'd be like, that's true.
But I'm sure like if you got a 96 Honda Accord and you have my Honda Accord, the steering wheel is still a steering wheel.
I mean, I guess.
You know what I'm saying? Like some of the essential components are probably the same. Yeah. I don't think they've changed them that much.
Yeah, that's probably true. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a rocket scientist.
What year is your Honda Accord?
I don't have a Honda Accord.
Or your Civic. That's my bad.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
2004.
I'm really glad that you drew this distinction there before answering the question. I'm really glad that you wasted a whole 40 seconds on I don't have an Accord, I have a Civic.
First of all, Civic is cooler. Civic is a little bit more punk rock. So they went around the moon. And when they got around
who did the calculations for that? Because is this
Houston.
stuff did they calculate that before? Like they were like, okay, if
Okay, yeah. So that's a good question. So they did have calculations for that, and
that's what I'm wondering.
Because when they planned the route, they planned this situation where it's like, okay, if we need to abort, we can abort here. If we have a fuel issue, we can abort here. But what we're going to do is we're going to get to this part, we're going to coast, catch the gravity of the moon, and then we're going to come into orbit. The lander's going to drop, and the lander's going to land. The control module is going to stay in orbit. And what's actually pretty crazy about the plan is when they take off, they have to time it exactly to where they're going to meet the orbit because they dock back on that control module, and then the control module goes back to Earth. And so there's a lot of math that goes into this, and it's pretty impressive. The thing is, when all this happened, they got thrown off the regular trajectory.
Would be if we ever did it.
They got.
I don't know. I'm trying to be the guy now. I'm trying to be your. I'm trying to attract.
Yeah, I lost my brainworm, so
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yours died. Yeah. So I put one in.
So they got thrown off the trajectory. So now they had to.
I mean, look at that. You're telling me that like, look at this graph right now. Both those circles are flat.
They don't look very round to me.
Proof.
Yeah.
So their idea is that we can so they're going to enter orbit of the moon anyway.
Yes.
And so then they're sitting going, okay, instead of orbiting and actually following around, once we hit this part of the orbit, you're going to gas it.
Yeah. And then you essentially reverse this where you have thrusters engaged until you can coast back to Earth. And then you're going to catch Earth's gravity. And then coast into Earth.
How far? I mean, like the moon is in Earth's gravity.
Yes. Yeah.
You know? And so like that's how far the gravitational pull of the Earth is. That's crazy.
Yes. Yeah. It's pretty nuts. And so essentially,
I mean, if you just think about how
yeah, that's nuts.
The gravitational pull, the effort it takes to fight the gravitational pull. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, dude, think about it. You're stronger than the moon right now. The moon can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
The moon's been trying to do this for thousands of millions of years.
Moon can't do that. That's what I say in the gym.
Moon can't do that.
Lunker alarm. Lunar alarm.
This guy's stronger than the moon. Whatever.
Stronger than the moon. Out of context quotes.
So they
just put me saying out of context quotes in the intro. It's just me doing it in different, like, out of context quotes. Out of context quotes. It's just me doing it in different ways. And it's just that you got to say one.
Out of context
Don't put
quotes.
his in there. It's just mine. Out of context quotes.
So they do the slingshot.
I saw that lizard eat the cheese. It's another one you can use.
It's just you saying out of context quotes over and over again, and then the weird lizard thing. It's like,
wow, I got to keep listening for that weird lizard thing. Wow, I sure should listen to this hour and a half long episode so I can find out what that lizard thing was all about.
So they're on their way back to Earth.
We're engineering your attention span. We're just putting out of context quotes in the intro to get you to listen further into the episode. That's the whole idea.
So we're
going to have to play the intro twice so we can fit all these in. This is a really long intro.
Hey, if you love the show, a great way to show support is by getting some merch. We got lots of great stuff. I'm going to showcase some of it right now. This is like our little TILLN QVC. You can get it's a podcast sweatshirt. Very sweet. The nice thing about this is no one knows what podcast you're talking about. So you wear it in public and you can tell them about your Lord and Savior, TILLN podcast. We also got this is one of my favorite things we've ever made. The Fiddle Off Fest hoodie. It's got the devil playing a fiddle. It's not really the devil, it's a skeleton. And then all of the bands on the back of it, like it's a festival, but spoiler alert, these aren't bands, these are jokes from episodes. So worth checking out. And this is one of my favorite things we've ever done. This is for the real fans. This is an old one. We've got a Tim Stone's Get Well Quick Trick shirt, and it's very cool. We got some really good designs. Jaron is good at designing stuff, so support his dream. No one will hire him as a designer, but you can by buying his merch. It's our merch, but it's his designs. And so leave a comment. Say, Jaron, you're good at this. We like your art. He really needs it. He needs your support so bad. Please make him feel better about it. And buy some merch. It helps make this show keep happening. You can tell people about how much you love this show with it. So.
I was even trying. I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait out there and do this time. Such a long.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, you're gonna do a 2-minute merch ad.
It wasn't a 2-minute merch ad.
Oh, Jaron's a good designer.
Jaron's a good.
Go give him a high five. Like, dude,
make him feel good about his art.
And then you're gonna make him listen to 2 minutes of ads. We gotta do all that, and then it's gonna be like, back to school this fall. Like, no wonder people hate.
They're
this
skippable
thing.
ads.
They're not skippable.
They are skippable. Yeah, YouTube Premium. Leave all this in that ad. So we get to the point where now they're going to have to eject from the service module.
Okay.
And get back to Earth. And so when they get back to Earth...
So you're saying that when they hit the moon, they're going to get rid of the command module part?
No. So they're going to take that back almost all the way to Earth. But there comes a point where to re-enter, they cannot have that on their configuration anymore.
So what has happened to the rest of these things? Did we just let them go into space? Is that
they're out there somewhere.
Really?
Yeah. And so we actually, I believe this is a real shot that they captured from on board of the module after they released. So they decoupled, and that's when they saw like the extent of the damage.
Oh,
to it.
wow.
And so they were like, dang, we could have died. We could have been a part of that explosion. But instead we survived, and now we're
So do we have other images of this stuff floating around in space?
Not that I'm aware of.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And so what's interesting is like there's a lot of trash.
I mean, I guess it becomes like Bigfoot, where it's like, it's out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, space is a big place. But we do have a lot of trash that's just kind of floating around the Earth, and a lot of stuff in orbit. And it's starting to become a more common thing where our satellites.
Isn't there a Tesla in orbit?
There is.
Didn't he do that?
Yes.
Like, didn't he just...
I don't think it's in orbit, though. I think he shot it outside of orbit. I think it's just floating across the
Isn't it crazy where it's just like, yeah, I think I'm going to, as a promo, I'm just going to litter in space.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the idea that somewhere along the line, because that thing, I mean, it's probably going to last a long time. I like the idea that years and years from now, some new civilization propped up somewhere, and that Tesla just crashes into
and kills whatever life is on that planet.
all of the life. I mean, I was more
the dinosaurs got wiped out by an ancient Tesla.
I was more thinking it was like they were like, "What is this?
No,
and how did this get here?" And they're trying to figure out how we figured out how to make it fly through space.
No, whole planet's destroyed.
It's because of the battery. The lithium-ion batteries are explosive.
And then as they die, they're like, "These billionaires!" It's crazy. They know what billionaires are. Big fan.
So
this should be an Irish pub.
So by this point, this went from something where people didn't really care to the whole world like really, really was interested in what was happening here.
Yeah, because it's like these guys could. I mean, it's the submarine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the whole thing of like these guys could not make it.
Yeah.
Breaking news, tragedy. That's the news through the 70s.
That's exactly.
The 70s and 80s is kid kidnapped. Is it yours? Look around your living room.
Look around your living room. It might be yours.
Well, it's somebody's.
Yeah. If you see your kid,
it could have been yours.
Yeah. So
coming up at 9:00.
So make sure to tell your kids. Could have been you.
Turns out the news anchor was kidnapping kids for years
for content.
Keep the news interesting for content. That's crazy.
That's crazy. I like the idea of an influencer who's covering the news and making it happen.
I mean, that's Nightcrawler. That's the premise of Nightcrawler.
You're right. That is a movie.
That's a movie that Tom Hanks was in.
Yeah, it was Tom Hanks, the guy from Twister.
You're running out of time, buddy. I'm going to cut you off.
Okay, shoot. So now this is the thing where all over the world, like literally all over the world, people are watching and tuning in to find out what's happening to them.
Even the Russians are like, go America.
Kinda. I don't know about Russia, but I do know like we have records of people like throughout India and like in Australia, like where they're holding these like prayer vigils.
Oh, wow.
Like to like root them back to Earth, basically. And what's interesting is they then if there wasn't enough challenges to begin with, coming back into Earth is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
Because if you just go straight in, you're going to burn up in the atmosphere. And so there's an angle you have to approach where you're not going to get hot or too hot. But there's also an angle where if you are too...
I mean, it's the same thing. Like if you're climbing a mountain, you have to go back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, you can't... the most efficient way and easiest way to get up the mountain is to swerve back and forth instead of like... People will post pictures all the time like, why is this road so curvy instead of just straight up? And it's like, oh, because you're dumb.
But also, if you... It's like that, but if also you didn't do that, you blew up.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that like the energy, you know, that would be like the energy that would be pushing against you is so much stronger if you go head on
than if you have an angle. Yeah.
It's like when you drop something in a pool, if you watch, it'll go like this through the waves, through the, like down to the bottom instead of just, you know?
I mean,
that's how air works. That's how.
And so, but the problem is if you angle that too far, they were trying to angle the approach to where they would land in the Pacific. But if you angle that too far, you would hit the water and it would start to bounce on the water like like you were skipping rocks, and then it would like blow up. And so they had to get the math just right where we came in at the right angle, but they're coming in a damaged module. And so it's like their ability to pilot this thing was...
It doesn't have a parachute that once they get to a certain...
It does, but your angle, you still have to get that angle right.
Yeah.
Because when you're coming in from that kind of altitude, space, a little, being just a few degrees off, you're in a completely different part of the world.
Yeah.
So they still had to get the math right. But the problem is the control surfaces were so severely damaged where literally like you could turn they're not technically yokes or joysticks or whatever they were, but you could turn the yoke one way and it would turn the other way.
They're able to steer?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
But you turn things one way and it goes the other way. And same thing, like every direction is going the opposite direction because it's so severely damaged. And so they actually had a thing where two of them were controlling this and they were responsible for different directions. And so one of them was looking up and down, the other one was looking side to side, and because it was so complicated to steer this thing to get it in the right
and then one of them was just sitting there. Two people steering this thing, and then one of them's just like, I hope we don't
behind them
die.
doing the bunny ears for the broadcast. Because they'd prank at each other, remember?
Yeah. He's doing the Nixon thing.
No, he's doing bunny ears on them. He's like, oh, look at these losers.
He's doing impressions. I am not a crook, you know?
Everyone's like,
trying to keep the mood light.
Well, that is something that they talk about is like they throughout this whole trip were like joking around with each other, messing with each other.
He like still hits that valve release. I thought it was still funny. I thought it was still funny.
I thought it was a funny time to do that. And so they come into Earth.
Guys, look. It's a lizard eating cheese.
It's hard to believe that's up here. And so there's a segment during reentry for about 4 minutes where because of the amount of heat, the communications cut off. And so Houston can't hear from the actual module. And this is a normal thing. This is expected. But at about 4 minutes, you expect to be able to hear from them again. And so the time for reentry came. This is on every channel on TV. Everyone's watching it. Everyone's waiting to hear from them. 4 minutes go by, nothing. 4.5 minutes go by, nothing. 5 minutes go by, nothing. 6 minutes go by, nothing. And then finally, what happens is they've got the cameras out in the Pacific Ocean somewhere on a boat, just scanning the sky, trying to get a visual of this thing. And then they see the module with the big red parachute just floating down. And at the same time where they capture it on camera to see the module, they get the first radio transmission back from them saying, like, we've made it through, like, we're in our final descent. So they get there, they get the boat out, they pull them out of this. And what's wild is they had such a lack of food. It was so cold. And they had such little water. They were drinking 2 milliliters a day was their allotment of water for each of them.
Wow.
And they had no food. They like exhausted all their food. And so they each lost about 30 pounds in this return trip, which is like 3 days. And so like the situation was so dire that they like, it's hard to imagine how you could lose that much weight that quickly. But they survived. They made it back. And now we have that return module is in a museum in Kansas City, or not Kansas City, but in Kansas.
Oh, wow.
And so
that makes sense.
See this.
That makes sense that it's in Hutchinson, Kansas.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's in Hutchinson, Kansas?
Yeah, I'm sure. Why?
This picture is. Why is it in Hutchinson, Kansas?
There's a space museum there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like
So
it's kind
you
of like
didn't
an
answer
over-
my question at all, right?
Well,
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure that I'm not the dumb one here. So why is it in Hutchinson? Well, there's a space museum there. Yeah, I can see the space museum, Tim. I'm looking at a picture of it right now. Oh yeah. Wow, there's a space museum in Hutchinson. Oh, that's why they put it there. There's a space museum there.
Somebody there was
Because
like,
there's a space museum there.
Nah, I don't know.
Hey, why is that in Hutchinson, Kansas? Because that's where the space museum is. As the space museum is in Hutchinson, Kansas, because there's just a guy there who owned a lot of space stuff, and he put it in Hutchinson.
Look, I think that's possible. That it was just somebody famous there, or somebody rich there who was like, "I like space, let's do it." It's also possible that let's see here, there could
Is Hutchinson, Kansas, where that giant painting is as well? Is that Hutchinson?
I don't know. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know where that is.
You know what I'm talking about? If you drive to Denver. On 70.
Yeah.
There's a gigantic, the world's largest, it's one of those like, pull over, look at the world's largest painting.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah. Now that I'm like thinking about it, I think one of the astronauts is from Kansas. I don't know if he's from Hutchinson though.
Yeah. I don't know why it's in Hutchinson. That's interesting.
Someone,
because there's a space museum there.
What really happened is someone just funded it. And
Yeah.
that's how that happens. It's just like in Overland Park, we have a 9/11 memorial in Overland Park. Why is that there? Like, how did this end up in Overland Park?
We went 9/11 Memorial?
Yeah. And there's on the highway, there's signs that say 9/11 Memorial, this exit. It's very strange.
Weird.
And so, but yeah, it's just somebody funded it.
Okay.
Yeah. And whoever funded it was like, I got to get that thing.
I don't know which shuttle do we have in LA?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one's in LA.
Look it up. There's a shuttle in LA.
I forgot.
Just put Space Shuttle Los Angeles. I bet we could find it. That's because there's a space thing in LA. Huh.
Endeavor.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's like standing up, and then they've built the building around it. Pretty cool.
That is neat. That is very neat. Can you go inside it?
I don't know. We need to go.
Yeah.
That's where,
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
very cool.
That's wild.
Yeah, so they survived. They made it back. This is where the Houston We Have a Problem came from.
Yeah.
They actually said, Houston, there's been a problem. But the movie said, Houston, we have a problem. And so that's what's famous.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks, Tom Hanks.
Wow. Flubbed the line.
Honestly, might have been.
Houston, we have a problem. Tom, the line is, and he's like, you know what? I don't care. I have only drinking 2 milliliters of water to prepare for this role. I have starved myself to try to do this. The line is now, Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
The director who directed Forrest Gump,
Yeah.
who's from Hutchinson, Kansas, is why this is there. And who also painted the largest painting. This is a podcast. We just talked about how they went to the moon. This is a podcast full of misinformation. Is there anything else you want to say?
No, I feel good.
All right, fiddle off then. Hey, thanks for, please share this episode. This is a good episode. Please share this episode with somebody. That would help us a lot. Also, check out the Deer Moon Project. There's a guy who's like, we should send a bunch of artists like Steve Aoki to the dark side of the moon. That'll really inspire them to make exciting, fun art. What a weird, like, rich people don't know how to be rich. That's making me mad. All right? Rich people just don't know how to be rich anymore. They used to build railroads. They used to build libraries. And now they're like, let's send Steve Aoki to the moon, huh? Anyway, join us on Patreon, and we'll see you next week for Things I Learned Last Night.